One wrong tariff, even by a single digit, triggered the kind of chaos that burned through a man's life, reputation, and destiny. Before you dive in, make sure to subscribe for more jaw-dropping, fast-paced real-life thriller stories just like this one. Rashid had always believed that details were the difference between survival and collapse, especially in international trade where the margins were thin and errors could cost millions. As the senior shipping coordinator at Horizon Logistics, he handled paperwork, tariff codes, customs filings, anything that ensured containers moved smoothly across borders. For years, his reputation was flawless. No mistakes, no delays, no drama. But everything changed one humid Tuesday morning when a seemingly insignificant error, a wrong tariff code typed in haste, ignited a chain of events he could never have predicted. He had been juggling 3 urgent shipments, 2 phone calls from impatient clients, and a crashing computer system when he entered 7,643.11 instead of 7,643.10. It was a difference of just one number, 1 click, 1 second, but destiny is cruel enough that sometimes all it takes to turn a stable life upside down is a single keystroke. At first, Rashid didn't even realize the mistake. He went home tired, ate reheated biryani, played with his daughter, and slept peacefully, unaware that somewhere in the port, a customs officer was staring at his documents with suspicion. The wrong tariff code automatically flagged the shipment as a restricted goods category, a classification that required high-level clearance. Within hours, port authorities had halted the container, locked it for inspection, and notified the Federal Tariff Investigation Bureau. The next morning, Rashid arrived at the office to the worst sight of his career, his manager standing beside 2 officers, files in hand, wearing a look that mixed disappointment and fear. "Rashid, there's a problem with your filing," his manager whispered. The officers didn't whisper. They were direct, cold, technical. They accused him of intentionally misclassifying goods to evade taxes. They questioned his role, his motives, even his integrity. Rashid's hands trembled as he explained, again and again, that it was a simple mistake, an accident, a slip. But bureaucracy doesn't forgive easily. The officers seized his laptop, his access card, and escorted him from the building as if he were a criminal. His colleagues watched in silence, some shocked, some suspicious. By evening, rumors were already spreading online, anonymous posts, whispered messages, screenshots taken out of context. Horizon employee caught in tariff fraud. Customs bust improper shipment classification. Millions lost due to intentional misreporting. Rashid felt his world shrinking. He didn't sleep that night. Even his daughter sensed something wrong and hugged him tightly, whispering, "Baba, don't be sad." The next days were worse. Investigations, interrogations, endless documents. He tried to gather proof. Timestamps, logs, supervisor messages, but everything he submitted felt like drops against the ocean of suspicion drowning him. His manager started distancing himself. Clients demanded explanations. The company suspended him without pay pending the investigation. Bills began piling up. Anxiety tightened around his chest like iron chains. But Rashid wasn't a man who broke easily. He began studying the tariff codes again, line by line, looking for anything that could help him defend his innocence. And then he found it, the breakthrough. The automated system was outdated. The tariff code he had mistakenly entered shouldn't even be classified as restricted. A software glitch had misinterpreted the number and flagged it wrongly. His crime was not a crime at all, it was a technical fault in the government's own system. Filled with hope for the first time in weeks, he brought the evidence to the investigators. They reviewed it, checked it, cross-checked it, and slowly, the storm began to soften. A letter arrived 3 days later, case dismissed. No wrongdoing found, clearance granted. Rashid felt tears in his eyes. Not joy, not relief, but exhaustion. He had survived, but survival came with scars. And one scar was waiting the next morning at his workplace. When he walked through the office door, silence fell. Some people looked away, others stared. His manager smiled awkwardly but didn't apologize. HR reinstated him coldly, as if he were returning from vacation, not from a battle that nearly destroyed his life. But Rashid wasn't the same man anymore. Something had awakened in him, clarity, courage, and a refusal to be invisible. That same week, he wrote a report exposing the system flaws that had triggered his ordeal. He proposed reforms, updates, new checks, and verification processes. He sent it to the department heads, to customs officials, even to board members. Surprisingly, they listened. His experience had highlighted a systemic risk that could have harmed thousands of businesses. Months later, Horizon Logistics implemented his recommendations, and customs upgraded their software nationwide. Rashid didn't just clear his name, he transformed the system that tried to break him. 1 year after the Tariff Accident, he was promoted to Compliance Director, overseeing operations across multiple regions. At the celebration ceremony, his manager shook his hand and said, "You turned a disaster into a revolution." Rashid smiled, thinking of that single wrong digit, the mistake that almost destroyed him, but ultimately rebuilt him stronger. Because sometimes life collapses not to punish you, but to force you to rise into the person you were meant to become. If this story moved you, inspired you, or kept you reading till the end, make sure to like, share, and subscribe for more gripping, emotional, and reality-based stories. Your support fuels the next chapter. Don't miss what's coming next.